Don't do these 3 things with your money. By the end of this video, you'll understand how you can make simple decisions or simple adjustments in order so you can have more money at the end of the month.
And all it takes is a few small tweaks here or there for you to really understand how you can gain the control that you need to maintain your finances in a better way.
Right. Throughout our financial journey, we've made a ton of bad decisions as it relates to how we save money and how we actually invest our money. So what we want to do is share with you some of those things that we've learned through our own experiences on how you can save more money at the end of the month.
And like Darius said, it's just 3 small steps. So the very first step that we're going to get started with is don't invest your money in things that you don't understand. There are so many opportunities that come our way, that come your way, that come everyone's way, and everything sounds amazing and that we're about to be millionaires overnight.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, you really need to take the time to do your research and educate yourself on any investment that comes your way, because you really only want to invest in things that you have knowledge or interest in. So for example, for us, when we invested in real estate, we put our noses in books and we understood exit strategies and how many different ways to flip real estate, just to make sure that we could make sure that our money was constantly in motion. Because if you are not in control, you're leaving it up to someone else to manage your money. And guess what? No one is ever going to care about your money as much as you do. So it's really about taking the time to educate yourself and understand what is going on.
Right, and one thing I want to add on to what you said, Carmen, was the fact that don't do what everybody else is doing.
Correct.
If everyone else is doing it, that doesn't make it a good idea for you.
Yeah.
Because other people have done their research, other people have done their due diligence in order to make the investment a sound investment for them in their own personal situation. Now for you, things will be different. Things may be a little different, so you may end up getting a different result. And the result that you don't want is not making any money or losing all your money in that investment.
Very good point. Now, one thing that you said was also don't make the assumption that your peers and people who are telling you to invest have done their due diligence. There's a lot of times where everyone's just riding the wave and saying, oh, this sounds good, but nobody's taken the time to do the math. So do not get caught up in that. Additionally, when we talk about don't put your money in things that you don't understand, is we want you to control the money game. We don't want you to be a player in the money game, if that makes sense. So one really awesome example with this is the lottery or gambling. How many times have you sat at a blackjack table or you invested in the Mega Millions lottery because you think you're about to win a ton of money? So in this case, you are a player in a game because you are not in control, nor do you really understand the rules. Because when it comes to gambling or the lottery, you have 1 in a million chances to win. Who wants those odds? You actually have a better chance of getting struck by lightning than you do winning the lottery. So let's be real. Think about those things. With any situation that you get in, are you in control or are you playing a game?
And in our previous videos, we spoke a lot about mindset. And when you gamble or play the lottery, you're telling your money that you have a better chance with luck than actual knowledge in order to get more money back into your pocket.
Very good point. And think about the time that you spend gambling or investing in the lottery. That is time and money that you could have spent in a business doing something that's creating actual cash flow.
And point number 2 is don't buy things you don't need. For example, don't go to Costco and buy 50,000 reams of toilet paper because you only have one butt to use it on. And another thing to take into consideration is the fact that you have to figure out a place to store these items that you're not using. So that's more space, more real estate that you have to take up in order to store these unused items.
And we've been somewhat brainwashed as a society of like storing up for the zombie apocalypse. When, like Gary said, you have one butt, so what do you need 50 reams of toilet paper for? But let's think about that. Let's take it a step further. We buy cars that we don't necessarily need. We buy houses that we don't necessarily need. And we do all of this because we're trying to fit in. We want it to, we want to look nice for our neighbors. We want to look nice for our family members, but we have all of these things in excess that we don't need.
Right, like we have a closet full of sneakers or shoes, and we can only wear one pair at a time. We have a closet full of clothes in excess for different seasons where we can only wear one outfit at a time.
Yeah, so it's important that you just take inventory, literally, on the things that you're consuming. Go in your kitchen and take a look at all of the things that you have in excess. Go in your closet, look in your garage, look around your house. What are you actually using on a day-to-day basis? And what we recognize within our own story is we bought a house that was almost 3,000 square feet, but it was just Darius and I. So we had 3 bedrooms that laid empty constantly because we were assuming that we were going to have guests and family come over constantly, and it just didn't happen. So what happened? That was a big house that we didn't need, that was heating and air conditioning that we didn't need to spend on, that was cleaning that we didn't need to do, but we had all of these things because we thought this is what we were supposed to have.
Right, we had toilets that needed to be flushed, and we just forgot that we had this extra space and extra room. And we also had to buy furniture in order to furnish these excess rooms.
So it's important that you take inventory because you could be spending a lot more money that you don't need to be spending.
Or money that can be used for something else.
Exactly.
And comment below, #own your own lifestyle if you understand the message that we're trying to get across in this video to you today. And point number 3 is don't finance things that you cannot afford. Now, a good example of this would be you want to finance a brand new ATV for $10,000. Now, you don't have $10,000 to make the purchase outright, so you go to your local dealership and you notice that they have this special going on, a winter special. And for $10,000 ATV, what they'll do for you is they'll make you a special deal where you don't have to put any money down and it's 0% financing for the next 2 years. The only thing you have to do is maintain a $100 payment for the next 2 years. But here's the catch. After that 2 years is done, the remaining balance you will have to finance at 25% or whatever variable interest that they decide. So the problem with this is after the 2 years, you put in $2,400 on this ATV. Now there's a remaining balance of $7,600 that moving forward will not be $100. It's going to be significantly more money because we didn't pay for it all within the first 2 years. These are different specials that you want to be aware of because that additional interest is interest that could have been put towards saving or saving up for the ATV in the first place. Now this also goes for other things like furniture. We do the same thing when it comes to furniture. There's a nice sticker on the window that says 0% financing for 2 years. And we fall for it every single time.
This is really prominent in the car industry. You'll see 0% financing for cars. So the point that you really need to understand with this is that if you cannot afford to buy an item outright, then don't finance it. Because financing an item, you're actually going to end up spending more over time. And really when it comes down to it, the rule of thumb you should be managing your finances by is if you can't buy a specific item twice, you cannot afford it. I'm going to say that again. If you cannot afford an item twice, you cannot afford it. So in Darius's example with the ATV, if you cannot buy that ATV twice, meaning spend $20,000 instead of 10, you can't afford it. That's the same thing with cars. We wish that more people would do this with cars. If you go out and buy a car for 30 grand, can you do that twice? And if you can't, you need to buckle down on your budget. So the main thing when it comes to everything that we've talked about in this video, it all boils down to education. So make sure that you don't spend more money than you should be because you should be educating yourself on making sure that you're in control of your finances and that you're not a player in the money game, that you're actually controlling the money game for your specific household.
So with that said, what we do on this channel is we educate you on the world of infinite banking, which is controlling your own financing in your lifestyle. So what we want you to do is in the description below, click on the link so that you can watch our free masterclass so that you can get educated on the world of infinite banking.
And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up and share it with family and friends.
And check out our next video on 4 assets that make people rich.
And don't forget to own your own lifestyle.
Or someone else will.